This is State of Affairs. We are remote. In fact, we are remotely connecting with someone we've spoken to many times. She is Marie Blistan, who is the president of the New Jersey Education Association. Marie, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Marie is in her home. We are taping this on the 20th of March. This is a longer-term view of some of the challenges and issues we face in connection with the coronavirus. Let me ask you this, Marie. How the heck could teachers, educators have ever, and students and parents have ever been prepared to engage in this kind of online learning? Could we have? Should we have?
I don't think there was any way to prepare for the crisis that this country and this world is in, Steve. I think we would all agree with that. But I also know that we are very well prepared to work with our students. And that commitment, that dedication, that expertise is coming through every day with our educators across the board. And I'm glad that you mentioned the educator realm that's involved, because over the last few days, I've been speaking to not just the teachers, but the aides, the bus drivers, the nurses, the librarians, custodians. And it's some very, very, very remarkable stories.
Yeah, by the way, just to be clear, there are 115,000 teachers, not to mention all the other support staff that Marie just mentioned, but 1.4 million students. Let me ask you this, Marie. Let's assume for a second, we don't know, but it's going to be an extended period of time where our students and teachers are going to be engaged in this way. Is there any way to monitor or get a sense of how effective the teaching and the education is?
So when we say effective, we mean that we're going to be engaging with students
That's
and
right.
keeping them engaged in learning, right?
That's right.
That's what how I
I'm
would
not talking test taking right now.
No, exactly right. And so I can tell you that over this few days this week, that the students are clamoring for the interaction with their educators, but also with the rest of the school personnel and their other peers. If I had to talk about one thing that is the biggest challenge across the board, I'm finding that educator after educator, person after person is saying that their biggest worry is the social emotional side of what our students are going through. This is not summer vacation. This is an unknown. They are dealing with situations in their homes where their parents, none of us know what is going to be the next day and what is happening. And you put all that combined and you put in a whole new schedule, a whole new type of routine for a child and for us on our side. It's a whirlwind every single day. But what I do know is that they are interacting and they are searching for more ways to interact. When I talked to a teacher yesterday, actually she teaches sign language, and she said that the platform that the school had provided, I think it was Power School, was a good platform. She's able to video, she's able to see her students in various homes and so on, but there was a slight delay, and doing sign language, it was a problem. And so she immediately found another tool on her own called Marco Polo, and she
I've
had to
heard
use
about
her
this.
cell phone. Yeah, and students started
She
using it.
used her
But
cell phone?
yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Almost everyone that I've spoken with are using those types of devices. They have to at home.
We have a 15-year-old, 17-year-old, 9-year-old, and my eldest son is an educator who's 27, and all of them talk about the challenges, but also things they're learning through this. Let me ask you this, Marie, and we'll have a different time where you and I will be face to face, and we'll talk about this in depth. But would it be okay, because we have the Senate president that we interviewed as well on this? Can you talk about the agreement that has been made by the New Jersey Education Association, by the way, one of the longtime underwriters of what we do at the Caucus Educational Corporation, and the NJA and the Senate president as it relates to health care benefits and how it's saving over $1 billion? Talk about
That's
that.
correct. Yep. Yeah, I'm very happy to talk about it. We had been working with the Senate president and his representatives over a couple month period, and was very intensely dedicated on both sides to get to savings that would benefit our educators, but also benefit taxpayers. And we had a press conference a little over a week ago where Senate President Sweeney and I spoke to the press about what the concepts behind that legislation would be. And I'm very happy to say on Monday that legislation was introduced and it was passed through the, or actually it was passed yesterday through the Senate.
As we do the program, right? They met yesterday. We're taping on the 20th. And the governor is where on this?
Well, it has to get through the assembly, and
Right.
once it gets through the assembly, we expect it will go right to the governor, and we expect that the governor will sign it.
Marie, got a minute left. It's interesting. I want to ask you this. Someone might say, Steve, why are you asking the head of the NJA about teacher pensions and, about healthcare costs and an agreement with the Senate president and legislation when we're dealing with the coronavirus? What's the answer to that question?
Well, we're in a crisis where we're going to have to prioritize, and we're going to need to know where those monies are going and for what purposes. And part of the savings from this money on the health benefits will actually go back to the districts for their programs if they are under adequacy. And so there's a savings all the way around. When you're talking about $600 million at the district level, those districts are going to be able to put that money to good use back into those classrooms.
Marie, before I let you go, I want to give you a chance to remind folks how long you've been an educator and why it's so important to you. 20 seconds, go ahead.
Yeah, over 35 years, classroom teacher, Washington Township and Gloucester County. Over those years, I taught K to 12, mostly students in special education, still my passion.
Marie, I want to thank you for joining us. Be safe in your home. We look forward to, hopefully, I'm confident in the November when the New Jersey Education Association meets at a terrific convention in Atlantic City. We will be there face-to-face together, and we won't have to be so distant. And all the best, Marie.
Thank you, Steve. I'm looking forward to it.
That's right. This has been State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. I want to thank our great team here at East Main Media, our great producers who are making this all possible, and the folks who have been so flexible in terms of talking to us remotely. I'm Steve Adubato, State of Affairs. We'll see you next week.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, Wells Fargo, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Summit City MD, the North Ward Center, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, the Turl Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and by these public-spirited organizations, individuals, and associations committed to informing New Jersey citizens about the important issues facing the Garden State, and by Employers Association of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by ROINJ and by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ.